Hello friends and welcome. My name is Popeye and today we're playing some more Steins Gate Zero. Before we get into it, as always, I want to put the trigger warnings for this game out there. If any of these things are not something you're comfortable with, please find some place that will make you feel more comfortable today. This game has some mature themes, including but not limited to murder, death, dismemberment, torture, abduction, rape, blood, gore, any of those things against a minor. Once again, if any of those things is not for you, please find someplace that would make you feel more comfortable tonight. If you missed any of those, below there is a list of common trigger warnings in games, and most of them are covered there. Alright, so last time on Steins Gate, what did we do? We were trying to find out more about Kagari's memories. Basically, she's becoming more and more like Christina. She had like a mental breakdown at one point and basically forgot who she was and passed out. And we were convinced that someone implanted these memories in her, kind of failed, that they tried to replace her memories with Christina's so that they could use her knowledge of physics and science to make the time machine. So we leak some information to try and have someone kidnap her, with Suzuha playing Kagari. Suzuha and Tanoji beat the crap out of people, and we find out that they are apparently, if you believe the guy we took and tortured, they're working for a US civilian military organization. I can't remember exactly what they're called. But yeah, I think that's the gist of it. So this is, I think that happened at like 1 a.m. or something. So I think this is the same day, but it's either stupid early in the, I think it's stupid early in the morning, like 1:30 a.m. on January 15th. And so yeah, so with that, we will get back into the swing of things. Kagari was lying on the couch in obvious pain. Her breathing was shallow. Her complexion was pale. Something bad could happen to her at any moment. And then Daru happened, the worst thing. Oh yeah, and we asked Daru to hack. Oh yeah, we've rebuilt the phone wave name subject to change, and we asked Daru to hack whatever this American organization is. So that's what he's doing right now.
お前、そんな危険なことをしてたのか。ちょっとね、友達と賭けでね、どっちが早くハックできるか勝負したんだ。ゴーゴーカレー1年分。
Alright, Go-Go Curry. I assume this is based on a real chain. A curry chain based out of Kanazawa, Ishikawa. It has stores all over Japan, but primarily in the northern and eastern parts of the country. It offers Kanazawa curry, which is famous for its thick roe and katsu and cabbage on top. So basically, it just has a lot of stuff in it. It has a lot of food. They just pile it on. You probably had no idea how dangerous that was. Q fat joke coming in soon? The way he was acting, there was no need to even ask. Well, I'm glad they didn't go the fat joke route. I was honestly expecting with some of the dumb stuff they've said. But I'm glad they kept it more PG. Since their plan to steal back Kagari had failed, there was a good chance Stratfor, that's the name of the company, which I believe stood for strategic something. I can't remember what the 4 stood for. Would resort to even more desperate measures. There was no time to waste. And... Alright, and I'm pretty sure we got stabbed and we just haven't told anyone yet, and we're bleeding out right now. Forensics? Yeah, could be.
なんでもない。
なんでもないことないにゃ。見せるにゃ。
Varys ripped off my coat.
ひどい怪我してるにゃ。
No, that was my best and only suit.
岡部さん、違う。おかり。
I tried to avoid looking at it. There was a lot more dark blood staining the side of my shirt than I'd expected to see. And the man had stabbed me before. It must have gone in pretty deep.
問題ない。
Where's Suzuha? You were like part of like the military. They teach like everyone basic first aid. Come and patch me up.
問題ないわけないにゃ。ルカにゃ、応急手当ての用意を。はい。
I'm actually amazed we have a first aid kit, to be entirely honest. Must be my Yuri's doing. There's no way we would have done that.
マユリ、それよりもカガリは。
かがりちゃん、しかり。
Kagari was still lying on the sofa, panting for breath. The last few days she'd been getting weaker and weaker. Oh, and now we got sad music. Her hand reached up into the air.
ママ、どこにいるの？ママはここだよ。ちゃんとそばにいるよ。
I grabbed her hands tightly, and she finally smiled a weak smile.
ママ、私このまま消えちゃうのかな。大丈夫だよ。きっとオカリンとダルくんが何とかしてくれるから。オカリンさん。そうだよ。オカリン、わかるよね。オカリンさん。
Kagari's lifeless eyes turned toward me.
心配しなくていい。もう少しで元通りになる。
岡部さん。私を消して。
カガリ。
No.
彼女の中から私を消して。このままじゃ彼女が。
Those were Krisu's words. Personality and memory were two different things. Just because she had Krisu's memories didn't mean she had Krisu's personality. But...
お願い、岡部さん。
What is this weird, like, pulsing image? This is weird. Oh my gosh. So, I just realized this. I was thinking to myself, why does Mayuri disappear when Kagari switches to Christina? And then I was like, because she doesn't exist in this world line if Christina's there. That's a nice touch. Also, my camera's a little bit high. Let's fix that. There we go. That's better. You're so confused.
私を消して。
Those were definitely Krisu's words. Hello, Burning Hat. How are you doing? At least, that's how it seemed to me. I remembered what she'd said before. She told me to save Mayuri. I mean, I don't care, Samus is ban Hat and then unban him. I don't really care. Go for it. There you go. See? I don't care. She told me she couldn't sacrifice Mayuri to save herself. Maybe there was a tiny chance that Krisu's memories would safely settle inside Kagari's mind. But even if they did, I knew what she'd chosen. She'd chosen to leave. She'd chosen to disappear. I had no way of knowing if the words coming out of Kagari's mouth were from another personality created by Krisu's memories, but there was no doubt that they were Krisu's words. Right now, she was nothing but a formless thing called memories. So why? Why even now, when she was nothing but memories, did she still have to suffer so much? Why did she have to suffer at all?
ごめんね、岡部。
You're not gonna pitch me a monorail? Yeah, I use Audacity sometimes. It's my go-to for just random recording of stuff. Clear drops fell from her softly closed eyes.
誰まだか
Yeah, like, what... For recording, if I'm just doing it from my normal mic, I'll use Audacity. If I'm doing from something else, I learned that I can actually, from my jack which connects to my headset, which does both microphone and headphones, I can plug it into other devices and record straight off of OBS. So I use that for recording like piano and stuff like that. Krisu, I asked him to stop myself from screaming her name.
待って、もうすぐもうすぐ。
まずいよ、おじさん。
Suzuha whispered to me as she looked out the window.
2、3、何人か集まってきてる。ストラト4だ。
Let everyone know that 3 is a bunch.
誰よし、来い来い来い。
The tension was rising every second. Was he done yet? Why wasn't he done yet?
シュー誰シューシューシュー来た来た来たビンゴ
Are they ever gonna hack someone who doesn't have an army? I mean, apparently Daru just hacks people because he's paid to on the dark web. We don't really get to hear a whole lot about that. For, I guess, like, obvious reasons that it would be a shame to give Daru actual character development. But apparently not. We're only going to hack people who have giant armies. You know, like those giant scientist armies you hear about at CERN. Ah, yes. Look at this. Crone, John, Junk. And Drain. And how do I hide? Let's quick save. How do I hide? Nope. I always forget how to hide this. Oh, no. What have I done? Crap, I accidentally skipped a bunch of text. So, we're gonna read that from the backlog, and this is why I never push buttons. Okay. Okay, this didn't happen. Lukiko and the others brought the treatment device over, but I motioned for them to stay back as I looked down at the monitor. Maho leaned over Daru's other shoulder.
重要そうなファイルの中からサイズの大きなものを選んで。
The trash. That file seems important.
待ってよ、大きなのずっと。でもファイルネーム、ジョンって。
モーツァルトの洗礼名はヨハネ。きっとそれだわ。
わからんけど OK。てか中にもファイルがいっぱいあるんですけど。
Ah, yes, all of the bins. Oh, are these supposed to be the Mozart, whatever the K song numbers are, or is it just they have no relation? Also, nice hacking terminal in the background there.
見せて。
Inside the folder were several files labeled with
ファイ
codes,
ルが増えてる。私たちの研究段階じゃこんなに多くなかった。
which meant that after the Amadeus project was shut down, it had ended up in Stratofor's hands somehow, and they'd gone on to do more experiments with it.
この中のどれかがカガリさんの記憶データのはずだけど。
K6205 だ。え ?K6205 番がカガリの記憶だ。誰
Code shell numbers, that's what they're called. 620, the magic flute.
あった、これだ。後の手はずは事前に話した通りに頼む。
Compared to Kursu's time loop machine, the process was a lot simpler. Since the memory data already existed, there was no need for a VR headset. Or the phone wave. Name subject to change. All we had to do was use the decoder program on Kagari's memory data, then use CERN's Large Hadron Collider to compress it. Then we transfer the compressed data and send it to the cell phone. You want us to hurry just transferring someone's memories from some server in America to Switzerland and then into someone's head? What does Windows say? Estimated time, 30 seconds? Okay. 99 hours. Oh, we're back to a minute.
誰、準備はいいか？オールオッケー。よし、行くぞ。
待って。
I looked up and saw that Maho was staring at the screen, her features frozen in an iron mask.
どうした？ヤジョさん。
本当にうまくいくのかしら。もし失敗したら、かがりさんは。
I reached my arm around Dara's back and put my hand firmly on her shoulder.
俺が保証する。
岡部さん。
Maho is the man in the iron mask, and Mayuri is the girl with the dragon tattoo, I'm sure of that.
かがり。
I stepped away from the PC and knelt down in front of the sofa where Kagari lay.
岡部さん。
いいな。
Goodbye. Kursu, we get to kill you again.
来た。
誰？了解。
Sound of footsteps coming up the stairs. Okay, we have a phone call. Seems like a good time for a phone call, right? Well, this is actually our next branching point, and I'm going to go back and lock that save. Oh, I have to click on this and then it'll let me use my keyboard. There we go. Okay, so we are about to go down the path of the next bad ending. Oh, I also appreciate the fact that the phone call goes on while I'm in this menu. You can have infinite music now. So, to get the bad ending, we ignore the phone call. So that's what we're gonna do. The sound of the phone ringing, as all these different sounds filled the air. And Samus wants cell phone stretch, so we'll get cell phone stretch. Alright. Here you go, Samus's cell phone stretch. I guess I can't. I was gonna say, I wonder if I open my cell phone, could I change my ringtone right now? I guess I can't, because if I open my cell phone, it's probably just going to answer the phone call. So I probably can't do that. And we're ignoring this phone call so we can get the second bad ending. Which I believe was the second least gotten ending in Steam achievements. It's not as good as Juggle, but you keep spending points on stretches. I mean, here, for your trouble, when I'm done stretching, I will pull a random piece of technology from behind me to show you. Does that sweeten the deal? You like sweets? Alright, random piece of technology that I don't think I've pulled out yet. Okay, so this is called the newsroom. by Springboard. What have we got here? So this was built for the Atari. A dynamic program designed to stimulate creativity in journalists of all ages. So it looks like you've got different fonts and clip art, and it's designed to make like a school newspaper. I see they've got all the classics. You got the American Eagle. You got hitting your teacher in the face with a pie. And let's see what's inside it. So the discs aren't there, but we've got some lovely things. We got great offers of buy one of their products and we can save. Oh, that gets washed out by the camera. There we go. What else? That's their customer support line and money back guarantee. And then, oh, they got Newsroom Pro, so you could have gone Pro with this. And then they had little add-ons for different things like holidays, holiday art. Yeah, I do know, Sam says, I do know. But I hold it up anyways. Got education, got just an assortment. Pianos, fish, the Taj Mahal. There you go. That's the Newsroom. Classic Atari software. It doesn't actually have the software discs. They weren't inside it. But yes, I do know, Sam says, that it's mirrored. I can't remember why I mirrored it in the first place. I think it's just me personally. I like seeing it mirrored because it just feels awkward to me if I'm not mirrored. I don't know. That's just a me thing. Okay. Back to ignoring phone calls. It's what I do during work. The last thing she said was... it's still a bit high. Whether those were Krisu's words or Kagari's, the words were cut off by the sound of the door and the sound of screaming. I hesitated. Not only did I hesitate to answer it, but I almost tried to tap the button to reject the call. Then Kagari's fingers cut mine off. I don't want my phone. My phone can go away. No, we don't want to answer the call. I hope this is how the ending's supposed to go. And then her fingers, or maybe Krisu's, tap the button to answer the call. Oh, I found the button to hide the text by accident. And then the phone up against her head stopped ringing. Okay, this is the bad ending. Welcome to Recursive Mother Goose. Which is probably my favorite name of a chapter. The dizziness stopped. The room was pitch black. There was no one there but me. Even Suzuha, who should have been living here, was gone. Daru, Mayuri, Ferris, Luca, and Kagari, too. Everyone was gone. I was so tired and sleepy. I clutched my smartphone and laid down on the sofa. I closed my eyes, too tired to think.
Okari? Okari? ねえ、起きて。もうお昼だよ。
Someone was shaking me softly.
おかり、寝すぎだよ。 すぐかがりさんも来ちゃうのに。
Kagari? The second I heard her name, my mind snapped back into alertness. I mean, it can also smack back. That works too. I forced myself to sit up. I was sitting on the sofa in the lab. Outside the window, it was bright.
やっと起きたね。てってるおかりん。
おう。
Mayuri nodded, satisfied, and left my side. I took a look around the room. The table was covered in notebooks and textbooks. It seemed to belong to Mayuri. She's probably doing her homework. Hey, we've been through how many days and the child is finally doing her homework. I could see Daru's huge back hunched over the PC. The monitor was displaying a cute anime character. He seemed to be playing another H game. From the look of things, the only people in the lab were him, me, and Mayuri. The time on my phone said it was just before noon. Where? Where is the time on your phone? Show me. We have looked. It does not exist. We have XP, we got full bars, our battery life's always full. We got call, Rhine, settings, a house, email, the 3 lines for like settings and applications. That's it. There's no time. Which meant I'd been asleep for more than 10 hours. Oh no, I must have passed out before I checked to see if the world line had changed. Yeah, this phone has a perpetually full battery and a perpetually full wire, signal. What's my signal at right now? Literally 0 bars. Like, it's not no signal, but it's got very little signal. I listened for a moment, and I could hear the usual bustling of Akihabara outside. There was no sign of Stratfor. That alone made me feel relieved. So just how the cell phone towers are placed, in my house, I get, I'd say probably on average 3 bars. The basement's worse, of course, because it's the basement. But with my previous cell phone carrier, I wouldn't get reception throughout half my house. But literally, I was like hiking in the woods, like, I don't know, a couple kilometers from any point of like roads or anything, full bars, just because of how the cell phone towers are placed.
Oh.
麦茶飲む？寝起きでドクペはやめた方がいいよね。
そうだな。
No, give me sugar.
麦茶がいい。
わかった。
Mayuri went to the kitchen.
コップ全部使っちゃってる。今洗うからちょっと待っててね。
大丈夫。急がなくていい。あ、まゆしまゆし。僕もお茶ちょうだい。
はーい。
This all felt like an old memory. It seemed like ages ago when I'd last had a normal conversation like this. But this was no time to be sentimental. Who's on our phone? Okay, we still have Maho, we still have everyone on our phone. Yeah, like Daru's been playing a game for how long? He can go and wash the dishes and make his own cup of tea. While Mayuri is washing the cup, I need to get things straight in my head.
変動したんだよな。
In the end, I'd hesitated at the last second. If Kagari, or perhaps Krisu hadn't stopped me, maybe the world line wouldn't have changed, and Stratfor would have caught us. But change it did. I could still feel the lingering sensation from my reading Steiner, so I was sure of it. From the look of things, Mayuri and Daru were the same as ever, and the immediate danger was gone. I would hope so. We slept for 10 hours. The reason for the change was probably the deletion of Krisu's memories from within Kagari. Those memories must have included something that dealt with the time machine, which meant that their existence was important enough to control whether or not the world line changed. And I deleted them.
いや、逆の可能性もあるな。
Maybe, even if Maho's program hadn't worked right, and the memory rewrite failed, the world line would have changed anyway? Unlike last summer, it wasn't clear what was making the world line change now. First thing I needed to do was to see if Kagari's memories had been successfully rewritten.
お待たせ。
At the same time as I decided on my plan, Mayuri brought me a cup on a tray.
今麦茶出すからね。
She put the tray on the table and headed for the fridge. I looked and saw there were 4 cups on the tray. 4?
前より、どうしてコップが4つあるんだ？
3 of us and Kagari, right?
だってかがりさんも飲みたいだろうから。
Yeah. That's right, Kagari.
かがりが来てるのか？
さっき LINE で連絡が来たよ。もうすぐ作って。
そうか。何の用で来るんだ？オカリンが呼んだんじゃん。昨日 LINE で連絡よこしたっしょ。今日の正午にここに集合って。
See, I sent no such thing.
第3回かがりたんの記憶を取り戻す方法を考える会。
So Samus's the barley tea here, it's a cold tea, so it's in the fridge in like an iced tea kind of container. I think you can also have it warm, but in this case it'll be cold. So she had washed all the cups, so she brought the cups over from the sink, and now she's going to the fridge to get the tea.
メンバーは
Why does Daru always look like he's just like a deranged lunatic?
まあ今のところ成果ゼロだけども。俺が呼んだ。
まゆしんも参加できたらよかったんだけど、今日はバイトがあるので。
I could hear Mayuri apologizing from the
か
kitchen.
がりさんの記憶早く戻るといいね。最近のこと以外何も覚えてないなんて寂しいもんね。
She didn't remember anything except the recent past. What was going on? Kagari should still have had her memories from when she was a kid. Maybe trying to rewrite her memories had actually deleted them?
はい、おかり。お茶どうぞ。
Mayuri handed me a cup filled with barley tea.
ありがとう。
I took the cup, trying my best to hide my internal shock.
ダルくんのはここに置いておくね。
どうも。
I gulped down the tea, stood up from the sofa, and went over to Daru.
ん？何？
I lowered my voice so that Mayuri couldn't hear.
記憶の上書きは成功したのか、それとも失敗したのか。
Daru looked at me for a moment, confused.
何の話？え？
That wasn't the answer I'd expected.
かがりの脳内に残っているクリスの記憶を消すのは成功したのかと聞いたんだ。何その SF 設定怖い。オカリンついに中二病患者に復帰したん？
I froze for a moment. Daru didn't look like he was lying. He had no reason to lie anyway. Hello, hero, how's it going? Suspicious? Samus used this command. Suspicious. 20 people have seemed suspicious. Did that mean in this world line, Krisu's memories had never been implanted in Kagari?
ちょっと来い。ねえ、僕エロゲしてるんだけど。
Then just don't. This is not the time and place for it. How's it going? It's going well. How's it going for you?
いいから
I dragged Daru outside the room, leaving a very confused Mayuri behind. Please tell me you turned off the monitor so that the 16-year-old child behind you did not see you playing a porn game.
寒い。オカリン、僕を殺す気か。いいから、ちょっとだけ付き合ってくれ。確認したいことがあるんだ。
He must have sensed that I was serious because after a moment's surprise, he nodded
今
silently.
の係は記憶がないのか。
No worries, lurk away.
そうだよ。つか何度も言ってるっしょ、それ。タイムマシンで過去に来る前の未来の記憶も含めて。ないってば。覚えてるのはここ最近のことだけ。未来のことを覚えてたら、せめてマユシにはカガリタンの正体を教えてるし。
Okay, so they also don't know she's from the future.
それはつまり、マユリはカガリが自分の娘だということを知らないんだな。うん。それは秘密にしとくってオカリンが決めたんで。ということは、カガリが未来から来たことを知っているのは僕とオカリンとスズハ。それだけ。それだけ。オカリンが他の誰かに話してなければ。そうか。すまなかった。寝ぼけてたみたいだ。夢の内容が現実とごっちゃになったらしい。
At this point in time, why is he not just told, like, Daru and Suzuha that he can see the different world lines? Like, that would make this so much easier.
気にすんなって。僕なんか24時間夢の中で生きてますから。キリッ。それにさ、僕としてはそういうテンション高いオカリンが久々だったから、なんか懐かしく感じたお。
Instead of answering, I took a second to think. It seemed like there were three main differences with Kagari in this world line. 1, she didn't have Kurisu's memories. 2, she didn't have her own memories of her childhood. 3, only me, Daru, and Suzuha knew who Kagari really was. In other words, Mayuri didn't know that Kagari was her daughter.
戻ったのか。
This Kagari seemed closer to the one I'd met before I jumped to the Alpha World line. Everything seemed mostly the same as before, including the fact that we were trying to get back her memories. Did this mean that a second world line change had sent me back to the old one? If I had the divergence meter, I could tell, but... I was starting to think like I used to. I chuckled at myself. I should stop. I decided to have nothing to do with the time machine or the time leap machine. All I could do was help Kagari get her memories back.
オカリン、なんかさっきから変じゃね？いや、大丈夫だ。気にするな。ならいいけど。つっか、いい加減寒いから戻っていい？ああ、俺も凍えてきた。
Bear and I raced back inside the room. When I got back, I could just barely make out Mayuri's voice.
探し物一つ星の
Hello, Chaos. Oh, hi, Mark.
風にまたたいて手を伸ばせば
Kagari's gonna know this song, isn't she? Mayuri hadn't noticed us come back in. She was putting her textbooks in her bag. It sounded like she was also singing a song. When did you become Mark? When Samus has decided to go, oh, hi, Mark.
それ、誰の歌だ？
It was only then that she realized I was there.
おかえり。寒いのにお外で何話してたの？
ちょっと 期のアニメについての意見交換をしてたのだぜ。
すごいね。
なあ、今の歌って。
あ、もしかして口ずさんじゃってた？探し物ひとつ、星の笑う声、風に瞬いて手を伸ばせばつかめるよ。
I heard something fall near the front entrance. At some point, Kagari had opened the front door. She was standing there with a shocked expression, her mouth opening and closing. Her bag was lying at her feet. She must have dropped it in surprise when she came in. But did anything that surprising happen? I can smell the future. It just had that feel about it, Samus's.
かがりさん、てってるー。その歌、私知ってる。
I can feel the future.
そうなのか？
I mean, I can predict the future as well. In about 10 seconds, Samus is going to hear this. Kagari was trying to point at Mayuri, but shaking too much to do it.
その歌。
Oh, she passed out. She fell to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. That was about 14. I was trying to count at the same time as read out loud. So my hand, like, below the screen was going like this.
Kagari!
But take I don't know, like a second or two off for your typing. Okay, we're now Child Kagari for some reason. So we're now, what, 15 years in the past? Mayuri is, in the first game, she's 16, so at this point in time, she's either 16 or 17, depending on when exactly her birthday is. She's still considered to be a minor, because in Japan, it's 21 is the age of consent.
それ、何の歌？えへへ。これはね、とっても大事な歌なの。
That being said, Samus's, there's a lot of stuff in Japan that can happen. Like, you can get married younger than that if your parents approve of it. So if your parents sign off, or they often use seals, like a family seal, if they give their seal of approval, you can get married even younger than that. But I'm pretty sure 21's for the drinking age, and you're considered an adult if you're 21 or older. It's something like that. Because you can get married in high school. Technically. You can also get married to your first cousin.
それも大事だけど、そうじゃなくてね。この歌はママとかがりちゃんをつなげてくれた歌なの。この歌があったから出会えたんだよ。 その歌がなかったらママはかがりのママになってくれなかったかもしれないの？そんなの嫌。ああ、ごめんごめん。そういう意味で言ったんじゃないの。何があってもママはかがりちゃんのママだよ。
Are we in the future instead of the past? I was thinking it was the past because the world isn't wrecked. But then Mayuri would also be 15 years younger and would be, like, way too young at this point in time. So this has to be the future now that I think about it. I guess they just didn't want to depict a destroyed world.
かがりちゃんにはこの歌覚えておいてほしいな。いつかかがりちゃんが大事な人と出会った時のために、その人が泣いている時笑わせられるように。ほら、一緒に歌おう。探し物一つ。
No, she's... So, Kagari's from, the future. So, in the future, Kagari is Mayuri's adopted daughter, who comes back in time with Suzuha in the time machine, gets lost in the... was it, like... the 90s? And then Suzuha takes the time machine forward to the current year. I think it's 94. If it's 15 years back from... yeah. Because this is supposed to take place... I guess it's now 2010. It started in 2009.
探し物一つ。星の笑う声。上手上手。次はね。ママ、どこに行ったの？ねえ、ママ。いや、行かないで。
And back to the present. I put a towel at the sink and put it on Kagari's forehead as she lay on the sofa. She looked like she was having a nightmare. Her breathing was shallow and pained. She still wasn't awake.
大丈夫かな？
どうだろうな。
She just collapsed out of nowhere after all. Been about 5 minutes ago when she'd arrived and then immediately collapsed. Daru and Mayuri and I had somehow managed to get her over to the sofa.
つうかさ、濡れたタオルを額に置くのって高熱で倒れた人の場合の処置じゃね？かがりったん熱はないっぽいじゃん。これ気絶した人にも効果あるん？
仕方ないだろう。他に何をしていいのかわからないんだから。
Neither Daru nor I had the knowledge required to handle this situation. But since Kagari had no insurance card and had no residency certificate, taking her to a hospital felt like a bad idea. All we could do was wait for her to wake up. With ominous music playing.
ママ。
I heard her whisper something.
今ママって聞こえた。
We both put our ears closer to her mouth.
いや、行かないで。ママ。
She suddenly jerked upwards. The two of us just barely managed to avoid getting a headbutt.
危なかったよ。あ、いや違う。かがりたんとのラッキースケベチャンスを逃したんだよ。
No.
バカだバカ。
I ignored Daru, who was bashing his head against the floor in frustration. Good. And spoke to Kagari.
大丈夫か？
岡部さん。
Kagari seemed confused, and it took her a moment to realize that she's lying on the sofa.
私寝てたんですか？どうして？
覚えてないのか？
ラボに来た途端、マユシを見て気絶したんだよ。
まゆりさんを？
I realized that her tone had changed since the world line switch. More precisely, it had switched. It was back to how it was when I first met her.
君はまゆりが口ずさんでいた歌を知っているようだった。
歌？あ、そうです。あの歌、私あの歌知ってるんです。どこかで聞いたことがあって、ずっと昔、子供の頃に。
おお、来たこれ。これマジで記憶回復フラグなんじゃね？
まゆりさんはどこに？あの歌のこと教えてもらわなきゃ。
Her eyes darted around the
は
lab.
メイクインのバイトがあって、君と入れ違いに出て行ったよ。
かがりたんのことすごく心配してた。
本当にごめんね。今日はランチタイムだけバイトを頼まれてて、どうしても行かなくちゃダメなの。おかり、ダルくん、かがりさんのことお願いね。
You trust us, you fool!
そうですか。
他に何か思い出したことはないか？どんなことでもいいんだ。
他に。
She put her hand up to her forehead so she could think.
う
But then she shook it softly.
ダメです。他には何も。歌のことも知っているのは確かなんですけど、誰から聞いたのかとかそういうのは全然。
かがりたんさ、今気絶してる間夢見てなかった？
夢ですか？
うん、うなされてたからさ、ママって呼んでた。
ああ、起きた時も叫んでたな。
私そんなことを。
歌がトリガーになって何か記憶が蘇ったりしてないかなって。
ダメ、思い出せません。
What did you miss? Kagari had like a flashback for her, flash forward for us in the future when she's with Mayuri, and Mayuri teaches her the song that Mayuri was singing that caused her to faint. And now she's woken up and she remembers the song, but she doesn't remember any part of that dream.
確かに何かの夢を見ていた気がします。とても大切な夢だったような気がするんですけど。
そうか。
すみません。ご迷惑をおかけして。
Both Daru and I knew this was a big step forward. We knew the song that Mayuri was singing, and she said she'd learned it when she was a child. That would have been in the future, before she'd gotten in the time machine, which meant that there could only be one answer. It was the future Mayuri who'd taught Kagari that song.
おかりん、ひとまずマユシに聞いてみるのがいいんじゃね？
そうだな。バイトはランチタイムだけって言ってたから、タイミングを見計らってメイクインに行ってみるか。
私も行きます。
Kagari quickly stood up off the
落ち着
sofa.
いて。今すぐ行くわけじゃない。もう少し休んでいた方がいい。
そうですね。すみません。
And then her stomach rumbled.
腹が減ったのか？カップ麺ならあるが。
あとは
Buy better
買いだめ
food.
した唐揚げとかバナナとか。
と
Dang it, Tedbeard, you're the second baby I've had today.
バナナいただきます。
She seemed embarrassed. Please don't lewd the banana, Daru. Please.
お
Thank
帰り
you.
なさいませ、ご主人様。
We opened the door to May Queen Nyan. Tanya Ray's too. The usual cat-eared maid was there to welcome us.
あ、オカリン。カガリニャンもお帰りなさい。こんにちは、フェイリスさん。
Samus says the worst part is I'm pretty sure you were the first baby.
おにゅー。オカリン、最近来るたびに違う女の子を連れてくるにゃ。奥義を極め、リア充大学生のオーラをまとう能力を身につけたという話は本当だったのかにゃ。
そんなんじゃない。マユリを迎えに来たんだ。そろそろバイト上がりの時間なんじゃないかと思ってな。
That would be day, month, year, I believe. Let's just do another quote and hopefully we'll get a better... Here, let me do it. Yeah, that's definitely day, month, year because of the 17. Top tier quote. A man can only be a man because he is a man.
マユシーは今日キッチン担当だったのにゃ。
キッチン？
今日はランチタイムのメイドちゃんたちの人数が足りなくて、
Maids for lunch.
この時間だけマユシーにもお手伝いしてもらったのにゃ。
Oh no, don't let her cook, please no.
大丈夫なのか？
本人はやりたがってたけど、お皿洗いに集中してもらったにゃ。
Good call, sound business decision. That was Ferris for you. She knew exactly who belonged where. Because she is the trope that her cooking makes you vomit. And then pass out.
もう上がってもらったから、今は着替えてる頃にゃ。
じゃあ外で待ってるって伝えておいてくれ。
了解にゃ。
We waited down below for a bit before Mayuri came out.
おかり、かがりさん。ごめんね、迎えに来てくれて。かがりさん、大丈夫？
As soon as she got out of the store, Mayuri ran out and gave Kagari a big hug. She had a worried look on her face as she peered into Kagari's eyes.
もう大丈夫。よかった。
You found the most useful character? That's 6/8? Why is that the most useful character?
バターンって倒れちゃったからびっくりしちゃったよ。
It's 5/8? Okay, yeah, it is very small on my chat. But yeah, I could see it being 5/8.
心配かけてごめんなさい。
Because it's a random fraction that you doubt is super common? I mean, probably true.
でもどうして二人して迎えに来てくれたの？
お前に聞きたいことがあってな。さっき口ずさんでいた歌についてだ。
You've got some random fractions looking for a way to type tiny raise too. There we go. That's what you're after. I repeated the conversation I had at the lab for Mayuri. Aha! You found it, tiny raise 2.
マユシーはすずさんが歌っていたのを聞いたの。
鈴葉が
Is this going to be one of those things where Mayuri learned it from Suzuha, who came from the future, who learned it from Mayuri, who heard it from Suzuha in the past?
マユシーはバイトが終わった後、よくラボでお勉強してるんだ。
Yeah. That's my current guess. Parabox. That's when you have two boxes, a parabox.
雨の日はね、すずさんが部屋の
Just like a paradise is when you have two
トレーニング
dice.
してるのです。腹筋とか腕立て伏せとか、それでね、トレーニングが終わるとシャワーを浴びるんだけど、出た後は髪を乾かしながら窓の外の雨を見てるの。ずっとその時にね、いつも
I win this
この歌を
round.
小さく口ずさんでるんだよ。なんていう歌なのかはすずさんに
Next
聞いた
time,
ことはないんだ
Gadget.
けどね。
なるほど。
Broccoli? What about broccoli? So maybe it was a song from the future then. Like a song that was popular with the people in the 2030s. But hasn't the world been destroyed at that point? I feel like I'm gonna regret for asking this, but what do I need to be enlightened with? Maybe Kagari learned it at the same time that Suzuha did.
それなら次は鈴葉に当たってみるか。
そうですね。
Okay, I will take a look at it later then, Sam says.
ここまで来たんだ。最後まで付き合うよ。
本当ですか？ありがとうございます。
Our relationship with Suzuha was probably still pretty strained in this world. That would probably help me get Kagari's memories
一
back.
度戻ろう。鈴葉はブラウン管工房で店番してると思う。
マユシーも一緒に行く。まゆりさん、いいんですか？
Mary gave a cheerful answer and then started to fidget as if she were embarrassed for some reason.
ね、うまく言えないんだけど、かがりさんを見てると、なんかしなきゃっていう気持ちになるのです。守ってあげたいとか。
Welcome back, hero. How is the desk organizing?
助けてあげたいとか、そういう気持ち。なんでなのかな。不思議だね。えへへ。
Done. Okay, time to be enlightened. Okay, it's a video. I will have to actually watch that later. Maybe it was the bond between mother and daughter? Maybe it was going to be a long time before Mayuri became Kagari's mother, though.
それにね、思い出がないのって寂しいと思うから。まゆりさん、ありがとうございます。みんなで頑張ろう。
And so the three of us went back to the lab.
あれ、すずさんの自転車がないね。
おかしいな。出る時にはあったんだが。
Oh, we scared her off. Just as we went to peek inside the Brawn Tube workshop, Tenoji came out.
おう、なんか用か？
鈴葉はいませんか？さっきまで店番してたと思うんですが。
ああ、あいつなら今日は上がったぜ。午後から用事があるとかでな。いつになく真面目な顔して出かけていった。
何の用事かは聞いてますか？
いや、 バイトのプライベートまで
You know, we
詮
can
索するつもりはねえ
we
か
can
らな
just call her, right? Like, this is a very easy solution to this. That was all he said before he headed back into the shop.
すずさんどこ行ったのかな。用事って何でしょうね。
I hoped it was nothing serious. I don't like the fact that it quick saved there, but I don't know why. This is already a bad ending. Nothing else can happen. I'll try Rhine. I think I've got a hint for Kagari's memories. There's some things I want to ask you. Where are you? Go curry. Was she eating a late lunch? Was that important? Yes, lunch is important.
とにかく行ってみよう。
いやー、お見事です。午後カレー秋葉原店、今月の大食い大会覇者は、お店史上初の3連覇、静かなる殺戮者さんです。
It is very important to go and win the local food eating competition.
カレーの女神だ。カレーの女神が権限された。
名前に恥じない殺戮者っぷりだな。あの食いっぷりを見たら本職の殺し屋って言われても信じるね。
優勝した静かなる殺戮者さん、おめでとうございます。
すごいな。
What do you get if you win?
すごいですね。
Was this what Suzuha had been up to? I also love the fact that she's like, I'm at this curry shop, and they're like, I know the one. I guess that means there's just the one in the city? More curry. So Samus and I were talking about this, not about curry, but about ramen. So there's a ramen chain here in Canada, and it's also in the States, apparently. And if you can consume 1,000 bowls of ramen from their store, they'll give you $1,000 in store credit. So you can have more ramen. The store had said she'd won 3 times in a row, and the customer seemed to know her. That means she was a regular? Suzuha made her way over to us through the cheering crowds.
はあ。あれ？3人ともどうしたの？
Play ramen games, win ramen prizes.
ごめん。さっきは大会の直前だったから、そっけない返事しちゃった。
I did the math on how much money it would cost. Let me see, because I had this conversation with Samus. So let me see if I can find it really quick. Okay, so, one bowl is $12.95 plus tax American. So it was $12,950 plus tax and tip to get $1,000 free dollars. And I mean, in fairness, if you made it to 500 bowls, you also got $500. So it's a bit more than that, but yeah. I think I have consumed 2 bowls. And the first prize is at 10, I think? 10.
すごいね。あんな大皿のカレーをペロリと食べちゃうなんて。食べられるものは食べられる時に食べる。戦場で生き残るために必要な素養だよ。戦場？私、何か聞き間違えたんでしょうか?
I mean, it really depends. The 10 free gyoza is actually not bad for 10 bowls of ramen. Like, if you're gonna go there, like, a couple times, get a free app on your 10th, like, that's a pretty common deal. Although that's a pretty big app. That's like, you could split that with a table. But yeah, it depends what kind of like ramen place you go to. But that's like probably on par around here is like $12 to $14. It depends on what kind of meat you want in it and stuff like that. That's like a snack. I mean, also true, Samus says I could eat all of it myself anyways. Oh, you have lots of pho? The problem with that is I would never want to get it delivered, and I don't want to go out for it. So I never get it. I also like ramen more than pho.
気にしない方がいいと思う。
おじさん、それでかがりの記憶の手がかりって？
I explained what had happened so far.
私の歌聞こえてたの？もう言ってよ、まゆ姉さん。すずさんが歌ってるのすごく可愛かったから、教えたらやめちゃおうかなと思って黙ってました。意地悪だな。
That hear what you just said is like the one thing I like about being in Toronto is our food variety is pretty great. Like back when we actually used to go into our office for work before COVID, we would have an office lunch Friday where we just the boss would pay and order in food, and within like 10 minutes you could get Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, you know, American, Korean. Like there was just so much you could order within like a 10-minute walk. Thai, yeah, Thai is another good one. Yeah, that'll be the interesting thing, is to see what survived COVID. What constitutes American? When I think American, I would think like burgers, a steak sandwich, like a Philly sandwich. Chicken wings. 10-kilogram burger.
それで、その歌はどこで知ったんだ?
Yeah, Chaos, that works. You just forgot the 1-gallon Coke it comes with. Diet, of course.
母さんだよ。母さんが歌ってたんだ。
Your mom used to sing it.
ゆきさん。
Okay.
ゆきさん？鈴葉さんのお母様もゆきさんとおっしゃるんですか？
Yeah, it needs to be in freedom units. See, the one thing that I like with burgers and stuff, you're like, oh, this is like a half-pound burger, like 2 quarter-pounders. Like, sure, I get that. And then you go to steak, and it's like, oh, this is an 8-ounce steak. And like, I only know that from having eaten different sizes of steak. Like, if I try to imagine, I don't know, what a 4-ounce steak would look like, I have no idea.
いや、そうじゃない。ゆきさんのあだ名が母さんなんだ。
Popeye uses my measuring units. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a 4-ounce steak when it's like one of those breakfast steaks. Not that I've actually ordered it, but I think I've seen like a breakfast steak with an egg that was 4 ounces. Also, I would never want a steak for breakfast, first of all. That just feels so heavy.
そういうこと。ついあだ名で呼んじゃうんだよ。
Only breakfast steak you've seen is a 16 ounce. I wouldn't eat a 16 ounce for dinner, so... What I will say, Wagyu beef is better than Kobe beef. That's my stance on it. There you go.
そうなんですか。それはどういう由来で。ごめん、その話はまた今度。おじさん、ちょっと。
I don't think it's worth $200 though. In my opinion, I've not yet eaten food that is worth $200. For $200, I could get like 8 meals. 8 like good meals. No one meal so far has been worth 8 decent meals. Alt. For trademark, there you go. You could change my mind about that. What $200 item is worth not eating for a week? Suzuha and I stood a little away from Kagari.
よく考えたら、母さんのことは別に隠さなくてもいいんじゃない？
記憶が戻らない可能性もあるんだから言わない方が賢明だと思うけどな。
そうか。
$1,500? That is an insane amount. It was a 7-course brunch. That's an insane amount.
I 私としてはそれは避けたい結末ではあるけど。
それでその歌をユキさんから教わったっていうのは未来での話だよな。
もちろん母さんが料理を作りながらよく歌ってて自然に覚えたんだ。
Exactly, Chaos. It's roughly the same for me as well. I think we're slightly better off than the Australian dollar, so it's probably like, I don't know, 2,100, but still. And that was per person. Jeez. I was getting confused. What was going on here?
鈴葉がユキさんからその歌を教わったということか。
You kind of want that money. Yeah, I mean, if it was brunch, I was imagining mimosas with it, but yeah.
それはないよ。かがりがまゆ姉さんの養子になったのは母さんが死んだ後だから。
You think it's worth the maple scent? So people have asked me, does our money actually smell like maple? Yes, but only the $100 bill.
私も人前で歌ったことなんてないんだ。かがりに聞かせたこともない。
Yeah, that would be good, Samus. I would like that as well. Not having to worry about it, just enjoying it. Oh, that's fair enough. Maple, but Chaos, it's Canada. We make whatever it is, like 80% of the world's maple syrup and maple products. So maple here is dirt cheap. I can like go to the store and get like a 1 liter bottle of maple syrup for probably $1.99.
あの頃は生きるのに精一杯で、そんな心の余裕なんてなかったからね。無意識に口ずさんでるなんて自分でも知らなかったくらいなんだ。
Probably the only time I don't care as much about price is when I'm on vacation and I'm trying the local cuisine, because I'm like, I'm there to enjoy myself, I'm there to see what they have to offer. So if this thing is expensive, but it's like, this is the place to try it, I'm probably gonna try it. $7 for a 200 milliliter squirt bottle.
それはマユ姉さんから教わったんだと思うよ。
そうか。
That's all that is shipping. Which when Kagari learned it from Mayuri, who learned it from hearing Suzuha hum it, and Suzuha learned it from Yuki, her mother.
なら次はユキさんに当たってみるか。なんだか伝言ゲームめいてきた。
Even so, if we kept at it, we were sure to learn the truth eventually.
私はタイムマシンの整備もあるし、付き合いそうにないな。
Yeah, that's fair, Samus's. I remember on my last trip, which was to Japan, my fiance and I, we had like the one meal which I guess was fancier, and it was at one of those sushi places where it has like the conveyor belt that comes along and you're charged by the plate. That was probably the only time I think we didn't worry about the money, because we're just like, well, let's just try like basically one of everything until we're full. And it didn't turn out to be that much money anyways. It was actually quite reasonable. It was a good experience. Would I do it again? I'd probably do it again. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if those exist here. Canada, we do have some good sushi restaurants. There's a good all-you-can-eat sushi place we go to, where with tax and tip, it's, I don't know, like $40 a person, which isn't bad. You've got sushi trains here. Move to Canada. I mean, the dollar's the same. There's less things that want to kill you. I guess the cold tries to kill you more here in Canada. And from what I've heard, our like wireless and internet's about the same crap level as Australia, so I guess you're not missing anything there.
Kagari no koto. Yoroshiku ne.
Not as in buffet. So each table has like a little tablet. This isn't a tablet, it's my phone. But like you put in like, oh, I want, you know, whatever, one of this roll, 6 slices of salmon, 5 slices of mackerel, and a bowl of vanilla ice cream. And then the waiter or waitress brings it over, and you can order as many times as you want. I mean, we have fiber internet, Samus. It's just pretty pricey. You're probably looking, if you got fiber internet in the city with tax, like $150 a month, maybe?
というわけだ。
I explained to Mayuri and Kagari what I learned from Suzuha. Of course, since I couldn't tell them about the future, I skirted around that part of the story.
じゃあ次はユキさんだね。
マユリ、連絡取ってもらっていいか？
Yeah, like, I think in Canada about an average internet plan is about $70 to $80. You can't even deal with going to the shops, let alone leaving the country. Then you're not too accustomed to Australia, you're too accustomed to your house. So all you have to do is move your entire house with you in it, and there you go. Like, you'll never know. Why is internet so expensive in Canada? Well, a couple reasons. One is competition. I think it's kind of similar to the States, but at one point, if you looked up what a duopoly was, a duo to duopoly on Wikipedia, the leading definition was Canada's internet service, where we have 2 major ones. You have Bell and you have Rogers. And what makes it more interesting is Bell owns most of the actual infrastructure, the telephone poles, the cabling, and they rent it out to all the other companies. So when you have non-major competitors, you have, like, you know, when you have, like, really cheap mobile carriers and stuff like that, what they're doing is they're actually renting the infrastructure from the big competitors and then selling it to you wholesale and making less profit off of it. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is Canada is not a big market. We are a very large country with not a large amount of people. We average under, I think, 2 people per square kilometer, or it's like, I don't know, 5 people per square mile, something like that. A lot of it is concentrated. I'm lucky in that I live near one of the very concentrated areas. So we have better service, better quality of service than a lot of other places. But you'll have even like our big cities, like if you go outside of Vancouver and outside of Toronto, I think those are the only 2 cities with over 1 million people in it. So even like other big cities, big quote unquote, might only be, say, 500,000 people. And for a lot of places, that's just not like a big enough market to want to invest in. And then of course you also have the problem that if you are investing in a market like Canada, and like let's say you want to do just like one province or like one state equivalent, you might have to run tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lines of cable if you want to do it themselves. And have 1,500 gallons of pre-made maple syrup. I mean, people do this. People have their own maple trees, and all you have to do is you put like an iron spike in it, and then you attach the bucket to it, and it just drips down. In Canada, what we sometimes do is you'll take the maple syrup straight from the tree, you'll pour it in the snow, then you'll get a popsicle stick, and you'll roll it up on the popsicle stick, and you just eat it like that. Mayuri took out her phone to call Yuki. Well, let's all call her, then she'll answer. Yeah, I don't know what they're actually called either. Mayuri gave up on calling her and sent her a message on Ryan. And if you also never heard of it, there was a famous heist in Canada that involved someone stealing millions of dollars of maple syrup. Google it, it's fantastic. This doesn't taste like maple syrup. You have a love-hate relationship with California. You love that everything is so close and stuff, but at the same time feel like it's too crowded and expensive. That's fair. I've been to LA for all of about 2 hours. On the trip back from Japan, we had, I can't remember how long it was, like a 6-hour layover in LAX. So my fiance and I are like, let's just take an Uber to the beach for 2 hours, get lunch, and then Uber back to the airport. Canada maple syrup heist. I mean, there you go. Yeah, I mean, first of all, can you name another maple syrup heist? I can't. But I think this one was for around $7 million of value, approximately. $18 million, there you go. So what would that be in US dollars? Take off a third, like, I don't know, 12, 13 million US? Yes, it is a lot of maple syrup, especially considering the value of maple syrup in Canada is quite low compared to most places. Like I said, you can get a liter of maple syrup for about $2. Why do we have to say what Daru would say if he were here? Just let Daru not be here, and then let's just not think about Daru. That way I don't have to say things like if Daru was here, he'd yell Yuri for the win. Come to think of it, Daru had said he'd had something to do today, and I hadn't seen him since we'd left the lab. It was probably something I didn't want to know about.
Yuki-san からメッセージ来たよ。
Half a liter here is like $25. Jeez. I mean, there's definitely good maple syrup and bad maple syrup. I'm talking about the cheaper end of maple syrup. If you wanted the good quality maple syrup, a liter might be, I don't know, like $7 or $8.
実は今、橋田さんとデート中だって。ああ、そうなんだ。
Well, Samus says, I think first of all they didn't figure out for the longest time that the maple syrup was missing. And then, yeah, Canada, we have some pretty long sentencing sometimes. It took 1 year to find it. There you go. I wonder if that would count. I wonder if maple syrup would count as like one of those things that you're not supposed to import because it's food. Probably it would.
あの二人、お付き合いしてるんですか？
デートするほど進展していたとは聞いてないぞ。
Okay, in this world line, Daru has a girlfriend. We have to immediately destroy this world line. Samus had posted the link up above. I think what they did is it was something like that. They had faked a truckload. Yeah, there you go. They siphoned it out in barrels. It was an inside job. Is that what Daru was up to?
ユキさん、夕方にはラボに来るみたい。
夕方か。時間が少し空くな。
でも、デートの邪魔しちゃ悪いよ。そうですね。待ちましょう。
Kagari wanted to wait. It wasn't my place to disagree. We decided to have Mayuri answer Yuki's message and then go back to the lab. On the way.
どうした？
おかり、あそこ。
It's not only is it more expensive, it's more expensive in US dollars. Mayuri suddenly lowered her voice and quietly pointed towards a nearby cafeteria with outdoor seating. Two people we recognized were sitting at one of the tables. It was Yuki and Daru. Initially, they did load up some barrels of maple syrup on a truck, stored it in a warehouse somewhere, siphoned it out, and then refilled the barrels with water. Eventually, they got lazy and siphoned it directly from the facility, which is how they got caught. The inspector stupidly climbed onto the barrels, which were empty, and fell. So, if they followed proper safety conventions, no one would have found out. Also, if they just stuck with siphoning it in barrels and filling it with water, also, it would have been a much lower chance of being found out. Yeah, your upper states, especially if you're on like the northeast side, because that's where most of Canada's maple production is. Like if you're like New York, upstate New York, like around there kind of area, you'd probably find it pretty well. Why would he stand on the barrels to okay, I don't understand. The two of them were eating a sandwich together with maple syrup.
あれだな。とりあえずいつものダルに習ってこう言っておこう。ダル。
Sandwich with maple syrup is gross. We'll do maple pork quite a bit.
どうしましょ
Or
う。
maple bacon.
邪魔しちゃ悪いよね。
とはいえ、これはなかなか見られ
But
ない
would you put maple syrup directly on the sandwich? I've yet to meet someone who does that.
それは確かに。
Oh, the standing on the barrels? Like, I don't even understand why you do it. Like, why? What purpose did it serve? Mayuri's eyes were filled with passion. She seemed to be truly cheering them on.
食べ終わるのを待って偶然合流した感じにするか。
マユシーは賛成です。いいと思います。
They're just gonna creep their date. Okay, for once I'm on Daru's side, which is scary to think about. Kagari and Mayuri were getting excited. Is this really that exciting? We sat at a nearby table in the corner of the terrace, so as not to let them see us. Like, I assume it's kind of like the big, you know, like, wooden whiskey barrels? That's what I'm picturing in my head, at least. Yeah, kind of like the wine barrels, yeah. That's what's going on in my head. More practically, my guess is they're probably metal. That would probably be easier. We covered our faces as best as we could and quietly observed the two of them. They seemed to be enjoying their lunch. I could just barely make out what they were saying for plot purposes.
ほらほら、橋田さん、口の端にトマトついてますよ。拭いてあげますね。
いやいやいや、大丈夫大丈夫。自分で拭くから。
でも、いつもハンカチ持ってないじゃないですか。ほら、こっちに顔向けてください。
Yeah, that's supposed to be the thing with wood, is it soaks it up.
僕の体液がついたら、あまねしのハンカチが汚れててしま。
汚いなんて思ったりしませんよ。はい、拭きますよ。
何やってるんだあいつは。
仲良さそう。
But I mean, this is also coming from the area where we serve our milk in bags, so who am I to judge how we store our maple syrup?
お似合いですね、あのお二人。
そうか。
そうですよ。
I don't get it.
いいなあ、幸せそうだな。
This is a bad line. I'm sorry, Dara, but this isn't gonna end well for you. Mayuri was watching them with stars in her eyes. Maple-soaked maple? Yeah, there you go. Bagged milk was one of the most confusing things you've ever heard of. Yeah, I grew up with bagged milk. It's whatever. Honestly, I prefer milk in like the same kind of carton you'd get like orange juice in, solely for the fact that it's then recyclable.
まゆりさん、お腹空いてるんですか？
Just get a barrel of maple syrup.
バイトが終わってからお昼食べようと思ってたから。
Okay, so the reason for bagged milk, and I might be getting parts of this wrong, but the gist of it was, during the World War, certain materials were not allowed to be used, and was part of it, and I think the other part was there were regulations about what food could be stored in. It's a weird thing. Like, I'm not sure why it still exists. It doesn't need to still exist. It's just, I guess that's what the industry has already built up facilities for. But like, you can buy milk both in a bag and not in a bag. And the milk in a bag is like limited to very specific provinces. It's limited to Ontario and Quebec mainly. Anywhere else in Canada, milk is most likely not in a bag.
なんだ そうだったのか。じゃあ何か注文するか。ここは俺がおごる。
いいの？
手伝ってくれているお礼だ。
やったー。オカリン
So,
太っ
okay.
腹だね。
It's... Okay, so bagged milk. So, I don't have a good example. I don't know. Here's my handkerchief. It's gonna be our bag of milk. Except the bag would normally be like twice as long and a little bit thinner than this. So what you do is you put it in a pitcher specifically designed to hold milk. You cut off the top corner of it, like just enough so that if you pour it, it comes out the top a little bit. And then you leave that little corner open, so air can come in from that little corner. And bagged milk is sold in Tetra Pak, so it's sold in a bag that has 4 of the bags that you put in your pitcher. And I think those are they? I think they're 1.5 liters each, or 1.25 liters each. Not entirely sure. But then outside of that, most of the milk tends to come in just like the same like waxy paper carton you would get with like orange juice or other juice. Yes, it's a bag of bags. And even better than that, when you're like clipping off the top corner of your bag of milk, you can just use a pair of scissors, or you can get a specially designed like fridge magnet that looks like, again, I don't, here. This is just a pack of hulls. So imagine this pack of hulls, except at one end here, there's just like a bit taken out, and there's just like a tiny little blade in there. And you take that, you put the corner of the bag, and you slice through it. Amazon stole from Canada. Yeah, because I can't remember exactly when bagged milk started in Canada, but it's... not quite like a cigar cutter, but I guess like same idea. It's like a thin piece of plastic. It looks like a circle, then with like a rectangle going down the side, and in the middle of the circle, like part of the center is cut out, and like it's pretty flat, like a coin-sized flat, and you just stick it to your fridge. Mary's eyes shone as she looked at the menu.
クレープ食べたいな。いちごとクリームがいっぱい入ってるの。
I've stopped drinking, like I'll still drink milk, but I used to just drink milk by the glass, and I stopped doing that after I got a kidney stone, which is by far the most painful thing that's happened to me in my life, and I do not want to have it happen again. So that's what Panic does for a living. Evidently, the place is offering a special on crepes today.
Kagari wa?
私はさっきお昼食べさせてもらいましたから。一緒に食べようよ。
遠慮しなくていいよ。
すみません。じゃあバナナとチョコのを。
了解だ。
I went to buy crepes, being careful not to let Daru and Yuki see me. I appreciate the fact that they actually went through the time to draw this art with actually 2 different crepes, the banana chocolate and the strawberry, which appears to have a lot of different fruit. So, I never found out either for my kidney stones, because kidney stones can be made up of different minerals, but calcium is the most common. I used to know the statistics better, but I think it's about 90% of them are calcium based. So most of them are... Yeah. That's what I've been told as well. And I was told my kidney stone was quite small. it was quite small. It was 2 millimeter, which is apparently about as small as they can get. And once you start getting, I think it's about 5 or 6 millimeter, that's when they start getting into like surgery range, and then anything over 10 millimeters, I think they have to do with surgery. Exactly. You don't... I mean, depending on the size... See, mine was so small by the time I passed it. Like, it didn't exist. Whereas I know other people... like, keep theirs. I mean, I guess you have the world's weirdest pet rock then, Samus. I mean, I guess that's also fair here. Like, I didn't feel mine go out, and I just assumed it was so small that it broke up along the way, because that's what the doctors told me might happen. I guess it could still be there. I don't want to think about that, but... Yeah, if that was... I think that was 4 years ago I had my kidney stone. How did you get crepe by your eye? Dara's watching us now, as he can like sense this feeling, and he's here watching them right now. Did that pee I did that day have the stone? Sounds like the worst anime title ever. Kagari hurriedly took out a hand mirror and a handkerchief out of her pouch and wiped it off. Oh my god. Chaos, you might appreciate this. Alternate anime title. We still don't know the name of the stone we passed that day. There you go. Well, we scared off Samus's. I guess the alternative is they're gonna finish their crepes and look over and Dara's just gonna be gone. Gari's cheeks flushed red as she stared up into Mayuri's eyes. The right way? What is the right way? Also, have you tried the newest map? Oh, without Discord. The new map is quite terrifying because there's no hiding places. There's no closets, there's no lockers. Basically you just hide behind furniture, or you have to just kite the ghost while it hunts you. He didn't do prison? Okay. We're now on a Phasmo rant. Okay, of the larger ones, The larger ones being prison, high school, and asylum. First of all, high school is my least favorite. The reason being the layout sucks. When you go in, you have a giant square in front of you, and with the basketball court on the main floor. So, anywhere you're going in, you're super far from the exit. It's bad design. It's also... I think they also said it was like 3 people. It's definitely 4. Asylum, to me, is good design. You open the door, you're right there. It branches basically left-right, and then downstairs left-right in the basement. Perfect for 4 people. Everyone takes a corridor, you meet back. So I think that one's good. It is quite large. It's designed to try and confuse you, and it does that well. Prison is a good 3-person map. It kind of takes the best of both of it's too far from the truck to start. There's a long way to the truck. But when you get inside, it's split pretty well into 3 areas. Cell block A on one side, cell block B on the other side, and then someone who does the middle upstairs, and then you meet in the middle cafeteria area at the end. You've been thinking about buying Phasmo? Phasmo's a good game. I put in like 70 hours into it. I've played it. I've both soloed all the maps on Phasmo, as well as done them all in teams. My only thing is, I think, like, once you've played it for a bit, like, at this point in time, until they put out new content, I'm not playing it because I find it boring. There's a new game coming out, let me find the name for it, which is basically a Phasmo ripoff. Like, it's just basically a straight Phasmo ripoff. What's it called? I'm Googling this. But it has the added part of once you figure out the ghost, you have to exorcise it. And in fact, more of the gameplay is designed around exorcising the ghost. What's that game called? Phasmo knockoff game. And I think it releases in 2 days. Devour's not the one I'm thinking of. Let me see. I think I also sent this to Samus, so let me take a look at what it's called. Ghost Hunter Corps. C-O-R-P, like the military. It's basically Phasmo almost to a T for ghost finding equipment. Like, they pretty much didn't even change what it looks like, more or less. But then they add in equipment to hunt the ghost. So there's like shotguns, there's the Ghostbusters laser don't cross the streams thing. And basically, once you've determined the type of ghost, you have to follow a series of about 6 or so steps to exorcise the ghost. And it'll be things like, take out this Bible and read this passage without being interrupted near the ghost. Hit the ghost with holy water. That kind of stuff. And the ghost can chase you all the way back into your van. So it can kill you at your base. It can also break down doors. It looks interesting. I'm curious in it. I think in its current state, I wouldn't buy it. For sure when it comes out. I think it comes out on the 16th. When it comes out, I'm sure there's going to be a flood of videos on YouTube and Twitch for it. Because basically that's what happened with when Phasmo came out. So I'll be watching all that kind of stuff. But my opinion of it, well, first of all, it's going to be in an alpha. And I usually don't buy alpha games. Phasmo has been the only alpha game I've bought, I think, ever. And I don't regret it. It was good. They have a price range. I don't know off the top of my head. I think Canadian it was going to be around 20-ish. Like high teens, low 20s, approximately. And with opening, they might have like a sale price. I can probably open Steam and take a look right now. Steam store search. I'm glad you have nice crepes to look at while we're being entirely derailed by other games. Ghost Hunter Core. Okay, so it does release in 2 days. It'll be multiplayer up to 4. Doesn't look like they have a price. And yeah, it'll be early access. So yeah, so that's getting released in 2 days. It's... yeah, Phasmo was definitely more of a co-op game. Dang it, Burning Hat with your suspicious monorail. What I hear from a lot of people, I do like watching people who play horror games, especially indie horror games. And one of the things I hear from a lot of people playing is they feel safer when they have a weapon. If you're playing a game like Outlast, where you don't get a weapon, that's what freaks out people the most. And I think that's what works for Phasmophobia. So I think a lot of people will actually be more inclined to play Ghost Hunter Core because they'll feel more safe. Even though from a gameplay point of view, I swear the ghost hunts you like every 40 seconds or something. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think it'll pique a lot of people. I think it'll scratch the itch that a lot of people who have played a lot of Phasmo will have. I think that there's a lot of people kind of in the same boat as me. If you haven't seen some of the randomized challenges for Phasmo, some of them are ridiculous. Basically what you do is there's like a chart and you roll a die at the start. Every person on your team rolls a die, and you look it up on the chart and you'll get like, okay, so we're going in, no flashlights, no running, and you have to crab walk, and I can't even think of what some of the other ones are. No swearing. There you go. If you swear, you have to stop, put your controller or mouse and keyboard down, and do 10 push-ups. Honestly, with Phasmo, I actually prefer the higher difficulty because things happen faster. They kind of actually slowed that down when they introduced professional mode. The whole house starts frozen, which I guess makes sense because Thermo was ridiculously OP. So they did that to level Thermo, which was fine. But yeah, I like it being fast-paced. There's also 2 camps of people. When you've figured out the ghost, there's 2 camps of people. Okay, let's leave. Let's get a picture. I'm on the camp of leave, because no picture is worth the amount of money you put in to get all of that information. That being said, Ghost Hunter Core, because you can fight back, seems like it's much easier to be a single-player game. Yeah. They full-on have 3 different screens for this. Both of them eating and then feeding each other. Mayuri took a bite out of the crepe in Kagari's hand. To someone else's eyes, it must have just looked like 2 sisters feeding each other crepes. Of course, Mayuri would be the little sister. But it didn't look that way to me. Looked like a little Kagari was blushing and stretching a hand out toward her mother. I really did want to get her memories back. No, Hero, it's even worse. They're not sisters. No, 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 no. The girl on the right with the red hair is from the future and is the daughter, the adopted daughter of the girl on the left. However, because of time travel nonsense, the girl on the left, who is the mother, is 16, maybe 17, depending on when her birthday is, and the girl on the right is 25. So there you go. I could only imagine what the future was like after World War III occurred. But no matter how bad it got, families still must have gotten together to eat dinner. Maybe this happened in the future too. That would be a very happy...
Huh?
Yep.
どうしたの？ぼーっとして。
ああ、悪い。ちょっと考え事をしてた。
オカリンもクレープ食べたくなっちゃったのかな？今からでも買ってきたらどうですか？
Because we're out of money.
昼飯はさっき食べたし。
That's our second suspicious command tonight, which makes for 21 people who've seemed suspicious in total. The crepes look so sweet that I lost my appetite. Oh, we're up to our third suspicious. This time by Hero. Notice Kale said, every door. He will slam some of the doors, not all of them.
じゃあ、マユシーの一口あげるよ。
And the most important door to slam is, of course, the main door.
それなら私のも。
Oh, that's the other thing, Chaos, about the new map, is the room right after you enter the door is the most dangerous because there's no hiding places. If you're in that room and the ghost hunts, good luck.
Suspicious.
Dang it, Burning Hat, with your suspicious monorails. I have not played Phasmo in a long time, Sam says. I played with coworkers twice for like, I don't know, 2.5 hours total when the new map came out on beta, and that's it. I haven't played it. Before that, the last time I played Phasmo was when you, me, and Prince played together. That was it. I suddenly found myself with 2 smiling girls shoving 2 crepes in my face.
バカ、やめろ。恥ずかしいだろ。
Without even thinking, I tried to move my chair back, only to get it caught on the leg of the table. The rest of the cafe watched me as I fell flat onto the ground. I ended up attracting a lot of attention. And as a result...
岡部さんじゃないですか。
ねえ、おお、オカリン、なぜここに？
They found us. We explained to the two of them that we'd found ourselves here.
もう声をかけてくれればよかったじゃないですか。えへへ、ごめんなさい。お邪魔しちゃ悪いかな。
It's not even a go-to game for me anymore, Samus says. I keep an eye on the updates. When there's like a new update that looks cool, I'll like play a couple rounds, but then that's it. Like when the new map and the 2 new ghosts came out, I did 1 session to solo it, and then like 2 sessions with coworkers, and in the first session, within 3 rounds, we had done the new house, we'd completed it, and found both new ghost types because the devs had weighted those ghost types heavier for the testing. Samus is always looking for someone to play, I swear. They are not tired of it. Yes, it is fun with new players. Mainly because they're gonna make you do everything. Daru's face was as placid as a sage's. Knowing that we saw him like that must have snapped his mind in half.
それでユキさんどうかなその歌どこで知ったのか覚えてないか
覚えてますよ。最近のことなので。
Fair enough, Samus's.
私、お菓子教室でバイトをしてるんです。講師の先生の補佐役なんですけど。ほら、私、お菓子作るの好きだから、まだまだ修行中なんですけどね。
I mean, I said it. I said Chaos would be there to put you in situations to laugh at.
そうなんですか？今度、かがりさんも一緒に作ろうね。はい、ぜひ。
Because Chaos hates you. I tried to get the conversation back on track.
教室と歌にどんな関係が
The last time I played with Chaos, we were on the high school map, and I swear he spent 10 minutes in the courtyard playing basketball.
ああ、そうそう。教室に通ってる生徒さんの一人が調理の間、その歌をいつも口ずさんでて、本人は無意識みたいなんですけど、それを歌ってる時はとても幸せそうな
Hey, Chaos, the prison has a basketball court. It's got a yard. You should go check it out. I mean, they're always constantly patching out cheese. I swear every patch fix I see bug fix being able to stand on things you shouldn't be able to stand on.
私もいつの間にか覚えちゃいました。
その生徒はユキさんの知り合いなのか例えば俺の知っている人だったりしないか
それはないと思います。割とお年を召している女性なので。
Bug fix. Tools are too useful. Got a nerf. Yeah. We played the game of telephone to this point and ended up with someone who had nothing to do with any of us. Maybe it was a really common song and Kagari just happened to learn it from hearing someone sing it in the future. See, even Chaos is like, you just need me there to make me look bad. No, it was too early to assume that.
その生徒さんに話を聞いてみようユキさんすまないがその人に
Let's look through our phone book. Who is an older woman? Moeka?
生徒の個人情報だったら俺たちに教えるわけにもいかないだろうし
別に構わないですよ。教室といってもそんな大げさなものじゃないですから。
Here we go. Assistant teacher just giving out her classmates'
その方の携帯
information.
のメアドも聞いてますし、よくお話もしますから。
Yuki took her phone out of her pouch and started to fiddle with it. She seemed to be looking at a list of addresses.
あったあった。この人です。
She turned the phone towards us. Seeing the name of a person we'd never met wouldn't do us any good, but we looked anyway.
え
Dang it, it's our mom! Don't bring our mom into this. I'd also like to point out that we don't have our own mother in our contact list, but her assistant cooking instructor does. There was no doubt about it. That was my mom's name. After hearing the shocking news that Kagari's song traced its roots all the way back to my mom, we went back to the lab. It would have been embarrassing to call my mom in front of Mayuri and Kagari. Mom, I'm out with my friends. It must be burner phone then. Yeah, we have the one bad phone that's just for talking to our mom, and then our real phone for our friends. We're not a drug dealer, I swear. So I went up to the roof in the cold to call home. When I asked my mom if she's going to a cooking class, she seemed surprised that I didn't know.
そっか、歌ね。口ずさんでるなんて全然気づかなかったわ。ちょっと恥ずかしいわね。
その歌どこで覚えたんだ？
Plotting murder? I mean, that's not out of character for this game.
どこでって？
ラジオで流れてたとか、他の人が歌っているのを聞いたとかさ。
あんただけど？
It was us?
え？
あんたが前に歌ってたのよ。
何言ってんだよ。そんなわけないだろ。
ほら、あんたが中学生の頃、まゆりちゃんが塞ぎ込んじゃった時期があったでしょ。おばあちゃんが亡くなって、みんな心配してたけど、まゆりちゃん、ある日を境に元に戻ってくれて、ほんとよかったわ。でも、代わりにあんたがおかしくなっちゃったのよね。
Yeah, you can do it to Chaos and MDS. You just stay back at the van when they're inside, you know, the prison, and then you step inside and just like scream the ghost's name a bunch of times, then leave, and then the ghost will hunt them.
なんだっけ？上記のバッドサイレントテスト？
やめて。
I mean, I don't think I'd do that to you, Samus. I'd do it to Chaos. See, people stop doing it to me because I don't get frightened by it. So, it just wasn't fun for them anymore. That's true. They will get you back. I find people start doing that when they get bored. That's fair. I mean, I'll pull the occasional door behind me on someone, that's about it. Was there anything in the world more terrifying than hearing about your own dark history from your mom?
あんたがそのバッドなんとかにかぶれ始めた頃、お風呂に入るたびに歌ってたのよ。散々聞いてるうちに覚えちゃったわ。
俺が歌っていた？
そうよ、覚えてないの？あ、お客さん来た。じゃあね、雨が降りそうだから早く帰ってきなさい。
マジか。
オカリ、どうだった？
Let's take a look at our phone. Still doesn't have our mom. Perfect.
わかりましたか？
Hiding beside stairs is a stupid tactic that you should never do. I've seen that work for people, Samus's. Unless that's the ghost room. I explained what I'd heard from my mom, even though I didn't really understand it myself. The ghost has pulled me through a door. I had a coworker who was outside the house, but was like close to the front door, and the ghost pulled him through the front door and died. Yeah, they were surprised. I was more surprised than anybody. I was so surprised I was actually feeling pretty calm.
なると、どういうことなんでしょうか？
Yeah, the dev patched that one. What did it mean? Okay, we're going into, like, Phoenix Wright detective mode. Kagari had learned the song from Mayuri in the future. Yeah, you do have to hold the door shut. I mean, the dev also has a new dev and a designer and a QA. They're actually like a small shop now. Mayuri had learned it in the present from Suzuha. Suzuha had learned it from Yuki in the future. So originally when Phasmo came out, it was just the one dude, the one developer. Don't know exactly when it was. Maybe around like New Year's February-ish. They hired a QA person, part-time, I think. And then fairly recently, within the past, I would say month and a half, they hired a graphic designer and a second developer. So they've got like a 4-person team now, which for a game that size, like, that's probably a good sized team. So what I take from that is because they've recently hired, they've got a lot of stuff that they want to get done. So I think there's going to be some actual, like, seriously large features coming out in the near future. Like, maybe like the start of, actually, it'll be their 1-year anniversary in October or September, right? So I expect they'll have some big releases around the 1-year anniversary of the game. I mean, if it's good stuff, if it's like new maps or like new functionality, yeah, I would take a look at it. You hope the ghost is hot if it's gonna violate. The ghost is not hot. My least favorite ghost looks like a penguin, an evil penguin. The children ghosts are always terrifying. Children in horror games are always terrifying. Oh, and the ones that sing. Singing is also terrifying. Yuki had learned it from my mom. We didn't have art for my mom. My mom had learned it from me.
俺、歌なんて歌ってたか?
There is, I say singing, it hums. It will hum in your ears. It's like a young female woman voice that hums. Like, I don't know what the tune is, but something like that. Oh, and the other feature, it's pretty rare to actually see it. But the ghost can echo back things you say. And that's terrifying. I've only had it happen once, where I think I was like alone in the garage with Spirit Box, and how old are you? And later, like, after I got it and I was going out through the laundry room, and it like whispers back in your ear, "How old are you?" It's terrifying. I think they just pushed a patch out. I think unless they're selectively pushing stuff from beta into main branch, I think that's all in main. It's super rare. I've only had it happen to me once. Most people I've talked to either haven't had it happen or have only had it happen like once or twice. Oh, there's also, I can't remember which ghost it is, but there's the one ghost that can imitate you, that can imitate a teammate. So for, I would say, like maybe 3 seconds tops, it will pretend to be one of the character models walking around, and then it will disappear, and it is terrifying. And if you want the full immersion, you need the haptic feedback suits. it was a popular song, maybe I would have hummed it, but
ダメだ。思い出せない。
yes, Phasma has it's a specific brand of haptic suit that you wear, kind of like a vest. I've looked into it. I think the cheapest one was around 200 US before tax and shipping. But yeah, it exists. Why does it exist? So you can feel Ghost Mommy strangle you IRL. That's why.
どうしよう。手がかりなくなっちゃったね。
Mayuri looked like she was about to cry. Kagari gave her a gentle hug.
落ち着いてください、まゆりさん。岡部さん、そのまゆりさんが落ち込んでいた時っていうのは何か手がかりになりませんか？
そうは言っても、何か特別なことをしていたわけじゃないからな。まゆりが墓参りに行ってるのを迎えに行くくらいで。
That was when Hoen Kyoma, now sealed away, had been born.
じゃあそのお墓に行ってみませんか？何か思い出すかも。
Was that
こ
possible?
こまで来たなら最後まできちんと確かめてみたいですから。おかりん、まゆしーからもお願い。
わかった。行こう。
ありがとうございます。
The sun was about to set, so we decided to go the next day. Jeez, it looks like the next day we went at like the full moon when a werewolf was going to jump out and attack us. The next day, the sky had been cloudy since morning. I met with Kagari and Mayuri at a spot near the cemetery where her grandmother was buried.
雨降ってきちゃいそうだね。私、傘持ってきてないんですよね。天気予報では降らないって言ってたから。まゆしーもだよ。
I never brought an umbrella when it wasn't raining. In other words, nobody had an umbrella.
雨が降り出す前に切り上げるようにしよう。
おばあちゃん、おかりんが来てくれて喜ぶだろうな。
そうだな。
それに今日はかがりさんも来てくれたし、まゆしーの素敵なお友達をおばあちゃんに紹介できるのが楽しみなのです。まゆりさん、おかりん、早く行こう。まゆしーはおばあちゃんに話したいことがたくさんあるのです。
そうだな。急ごう。
We finally arrived at the cemetery. Skies were getting darker and it felt like it could rain at any minute. We finished cleaning the grave. Each of us put our hands together in front of us. Mayuri sat down and started talking to her grandma. Kagari and I watched her from a short distance away. The scene looks familiar. It probably looks similar to the one where we see her here in the first game. I think that was near like mid-late portion of the game. About the time that Okarin's starting to feel like fed up with all the times of her dying. I mean, I'll play, yeah. If we find a time that works. Like, I'm usually free. Evenings are best for me. Yeah. Only 4 can play? Samus, can you count again? You, Chaos, Hero, me. There's 4.
だから、オカリンとダルくんにかがりさんのことお願いって言ってラボを出たの。
Hero 2.0 Chaos. Who is Hero 2.0?
でも本当は心配で心配で れそうだったんだよ。岡部さん、
Zero's ult. Thank you, Samus's.
ああ、マユリのことなら気にしないでくれ。あれは儀式みたいなものなんだ。
I mean, thank you, thank you, Twitch Mod, for letting me play a game where people literally are murdered and people think about rape, but, you know, just not letting people say any swear words at all in chat. Thank you.
儀式？
ああ、マユリはおばあちゃん子でさ、そのおばあちゃんが亡くなった時には
And people turn into jams and jellies, yes.
半年くらい誰とも口を聞かずに
Is Ella of the undead?
一日中ぼんやり立ってた。まるで自分もおばあちゃんのところに行ければいいのにって祈っているように見えた。
それを岡部さんが連れ戻したんですよね。
どうしてそれを？
まゆりさんから聞いちゃいました。
あいつめ。
いいじゃないですか。かっこいいですよ。マッドサイエンティストの法王院京馬さん。
やめてくれ。あの時は必死だったんだ。後から思えば正解だったわけだけど、やっぱり恥ずかしい真似をしたと思うよ。
I'd use every bit of knowledge I could scrape up from anime and video games to try and keep Mayuri's soul from leaving us. Oh, we just got an achievement. We've watched 50% of the CGs in this game. Ella can't be... So Ella subscribed. I mean... This community... Just... The last joke sub someone gave me was from Deadbeard, and he gifted a sub to Breasts. Which, first of all, I'm surprised Twitch allowed that name. But, yeah. And we've also had some ones subscribed to Uncle, and I think there was some to Juggling People. And don't do that. You should never do that. Jeez, look at young Okabe there. And his, like... His hoodie and his, like, emo haircut and his tight black skinny jeans. Like, look at this guy. Mayuri hasn't changed, but we have. That's a first. Breast subscribing to a person, not the other way around. I wish bots could just use your emotes. That would be so much better. Like, I know you can use, like, Phantom Bot and other stuff and set it up so it, like, acts as you and then it has your emotes. Yeah, it depends what you want to do, because, like, Hero's right, if you do the tip, then the full dollar amount goes straight to the streamer minus, I guess, whatever cuts, PayPal, or whatever payment integration takes. But yeah, Twitch does have to make their money, as Samus has said, and if you do, like, a gift sub, then both the streamer and the person you gift it to get something. Yeah. I mean, it's something I've looked at as well. Like as Hero, I've had the exact same thought that tipping is like the best way to give money to people. If that's your end goal. And that's not the end goal for everyone. Some people just want to have fun, and they consider that as part of, I guess, the expense of having fun.
そうですよ。あ、
ん？
降ってきました。
I looked up just in time for a drop to fall on my cheek. A cold rain started to
こんな
come
に早く
down.
降り始めるとは思いませんでしたね。どうします？
We just gotten here and hadn't done anything yet. Wanted to do at least a little research before we left.
Suspicious.
Dang it, Samuses! Stop that.
一旦雨宿りできる場所を探そう。
It wasn't
コン
you.
ビニで傘を買ってもいいし。
Multi Dark Samuses has gifted a sub tier 1 to Hero of the Undead. And I bet you if I go over here, or you're now the gift sub leader. Would you look at that?
わかりました。まゆりさん、一度駅に戻りましょう。え？ああ、雨だ。
That's not your real account? The rain started to come down harder as we ran toward the station. And what's your real account? But it is your account.
先に傘を買っておけばよかったですね。これじゃシャワー浴びないと風邪ひいちゃうね。そうだ。かがりさん、まゆしーのお家来る？一緒にシャワー浴びようよ。あれ？
Mayuri turned around and suddenly stopped. I stopped too. I looked back and saw that Kagari wasn't keeping up with us. You know what, Sam? I believe your story, Samus. But as you deleted it, this is now your real account. She was standing some distance away with a blank look on her face. She was facing us, but seemed to be staring off into the distance.
かがりさん、どうしたの？ 聞こえる。
I mean, that's just your bot name. Her voice was flat and emotionless. It was like she was a different person than the one who had been there a moment
聞こ
before.
えるって何が？
Unless you really are a bot. Dun dun dun.
声が聞こえる。
How can our bots be real if our Twitch accounts aren't Samus's?
かがりさん？
Mayuri started to walk towards Kagari,
私、行かなきゃ。
and suddenly, Kagari ran through the puddles of water and out into the street. This can only end well. It's always good when someone blindly runs into the street in the middle of a storm, right? I'm gonna put a potential warning right now. If you don't want to see a scene with a girl getting hit by a truck, because this game will show it, now is the time to look away. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it will. A truck was coming. Yep. Mayuri screamed. and my body moved on its own. I yanked Mayuri's shoulders down and knocked her to the ground so that she couldn't run out on her own. Then I used that momentum to run out into the street myself. I love how he's so fast he moved onto screen without the truck advancing. Okay, and now we're young Kagari. Well, we're dead now. I mean, I think this will be this bad end. Because to my knowledge, like, most of the endings are about, I would say, an hour, 2 hours long. It was just that first ending that people complained, like, oh man, it's like 6 hours long. I don't think you've ever gone swimming if you think running in the rain is like swimming. I'm gonna move my head out of the way.
1998年に鈴葉お姉ちゃんと別れてから長いこと閉じ込められていた
You bought it.
私がそこから逃げ出したのはいつのことだっただろう
To be back together, Samus, don't we have to have been together in the first place?
逃げ出した理由は急にママに会いたくなったからそれだけだった
I mean, we've been together, just not as a ghost hunting team, I guess. Okay, you have to come up with one of those dumb team names where you combined all of our names together into something that barely works. Like the multi-chaos hero pie? At the place where she was kept, Kagari was waiting for the professor to come at, like always, when she happened to look outside and see it was raining. Multi-chaos hero pie? Chimp? Chimp is good. When she smelled the water through the window, she remembered what her mom said. The next thing she knew, she'd taken off the headset she was wearing. Nobody had expected it, so escaping was easy. Champ? I mean, I guess it depends how well we do. If we do well, we're champs. If we don't, well, then we're chimps. Or chumps. Really? You're gonna auto-mod chump? Thank you, Samus. Jeez, auto-mod is on a tear today. What did you learn today, Samus? She ripped the cords off her arms and used the little window to go outside. And then she'd snuck in the back of a truck that was just leaving the parking lot. The facility she'd been kept in must have been deep within the mountains. After hours of shaking, the truck finally reached a town somewhere. When the truck stopped, she jumped out and wandered in the rain with nowhere to go. She didn't have any destination in mind. She just wanted to see her mom, but she didn't know where she was. The Pog Champ emote comes from a YouTube video still of a video game Pog and the player winning the championship. The emote stands for Pog Championship. There you go, I learned something as well. Even if she did find her mom would have been younger than Kagari and wouldn't know who she was. She'd run away from the facility on impulse, but she had no money, and there was nothing she could do, except wait for the professor to come find her. Until then she wanted to get wet in the rain. The rain kept falling for a long time. Her clothes got wet, but she didn't care.
雨が痛くないなんて変な感じ。
The rain in this era didn't sting when it landed on your skin. It was warm. For the first time, Kagari learned that nature could do things other than hurt you. That's what humans are for. There was life in this rain. That's how it felt to her. The rain in this era was alive. It was totally different than the dead rain of the future. Kagari kept walking, enjoying the feeling of being surrounded by living rain. How long had she walked? When her legs finally started to get tired, she sat down on a bench with a roof over it. It was a trolley platform. It was unmanned, without even a ticket station. Living rain? I think she's just comparing it to in the future when it's just like acid and like nuclear fallout rain that just destroys everything. She sat down and looked up at the sky. The rain was still falling.
きっと神様はこの雨も嫌いなんだろうな。生きている雨より死んでいる雨の方が好きなんだろうな。そうじゃなきゃ未来の雨が死んでいる理由を説明できないもの。
The dead rain sure didn't seem better than the living rain to Kagari. There was one thing she was sure of. In the future where Mom was, the rain was dead. She saw Mom again, the rain would be dead. So she wasn't really mad at God.
迷子ですか?
Gosh dang game for making me move. My face. A boy was standing next to the bench. He was the same age as Kagari, or maybe a little younger. He was holding an umbrella, but the area below his knees was soaking wet. He must have walked in the rain for a long time. Kagari said nothing as he sat down next to her. He looked tired and in pain.
僕も
The boy talked to her in a voice that was a whisper. What he talked about she couldn't remember, but he seemed to be in so much pain, as if he was carrying the weight of the whole world's sadness on his shoulders. Why had he talked to her when they'd never met before? Why had he decided to open up to Kagari? Strangely, it didn't bother her. She was the same. She was the same as he was. And strangely, she realized something. There were things in this world that you just couldn't change. There were things in this world where all you could do was watch them slip through your fingers. You couldn't give up on them, but you had no choice but to give up. She felt that despair. Maybe the rain had brought the two of them together. There were so many people in the world, and yet the two of them had no one they could talk to, so maybe the rain had brought them together. The living rain, the warm rain, the gentle rain.
オカリンとママはね、その中を泳ぐ魚なの。世界でたった2匹だけの。
Mommy had looked so happy when she told that story, but it sounded sad to Kagari, because the world was so big, it was just the two of them alone. It would be lonely and sad to have no one else there. That's what she'd thought. But now she understood how Mom felt, just a little. Just two fish, alone in the world. That was different than being totally alone. No matter what else, there was someone next to you who felt the same way. It was lonely, but she was sure it wasn't that lonely. That's what she felt at the bottom of the sea of living rain.
探し物ひとつ星の笑う声風に瞬いて手を伸ばせばつかめるよ
There was nothing Kagari could do for the boy. She felt like he needed that song. The next thing she knew, the boy was gone.
雨やまないな
探したよ。ほら、行こう。 どうしたんだい？
私、行かなきゃ。
She shook off the professor's hand and ran off into the street through the pouring rain. Then she saw a truck splashing up water from the puddles as it came barreling towards her. Is it literally the same truck, the same scene? They just swapped her clothing? So this is still part of the flashback. So this is whatever, like 10 years ago or something. Kagari had briefly escaped from whatever medical institute has her locked up, and basically the same scene happens. Kagari woke up and realized she was in a hospital bed.
Kagari-san!
But now we're back in the present, apparently. Mayuri was looking down at her with eyes swollen bright red. Apparently we're alive, too.
Kagari!
私、
トラックにはねられそうになったんだ。怪我はなかったんだけどな。
I have no
気を
idea.
失ってたから念のために救急車を呼んだ。君は保険証を持ってないから医療費はとんでもない額になるかもな。
しょうがないよ。あの時はそうするしかなかったもん。かがりさんが無事でよかった。オカリンがね、ギリギリのところで助けたんだよ。二人とも死んじゃったのかと思って。マユシーは
泣くなよ、マユリ。
I guess this isn't the ending, Samus is, because we're both still alive somehow.
そうでした。ぼんやり覚えてます。岡部さんが飛び出してきてくれたこと、ごめんなさい。私どうかしてた。ありがとう。
いや、無事ならいいんだ。
In a fit of emotion, Mayuri leapt on Kagari.
よかったよ、かがりさん。本当に心配したんだから。まゆりさん。違う。
Kagari finally understood everything.
そうじゃない。
Gosh dang it, game making me move my face.
この人はまゆりさんじゃない。そうだ。この人はママだ。やっと会えた。
Now it was Kagari's turn to give Mayuri a big hug.
違ってなんかない。ママはかがりのママなの。
She couldn't stop herself from talking like a little girl. The last 10 years vanished and Kagari was once again a small child.
ママって。かがり、記憶が戻ったのか？
おかりん、おじさん。全部思い出した。私は椎名まゆりの娘、椎名かがりだよ。だってかがりさん、まゆしより年上だよ。それにまゆしは赤ちゃん産んだりとかしてないし。ママ、私は未来から来たんだよ。未来のママは 孤児だった私を引き取って養女にしてくれたの。マユシーが？そうだよ。私に生きる理由を与えてくれたのがママなの。ママはね、私を危ない目に遭わせないために一番安全なところに逃がしてくれた。安全なところ？過去だよ。ママが幼かった頃のまだ平和だった日本でなら
Gosh,
安全に暮らせるだ
got
ろう。
my face is blocking it because this game makes me keep moving my face. I'll quickly go through the backlog. So she remembers she's the daughter, but Mayuri's never been pregnant. You're from the future, you adopted me. Tell me the safest place you can think of the past.
でもやっぱり寂しかった。ここにはママがいないんだもの。どんな安全な場所でもママと離れ離れになるんじゃ意味なんてないもん。ママ、会いたかったよ。
Kagari clung to Mayuri on the soft bed and cried for a long time. At first Mayuri was confused, but she eventually hugged her back gently.
かがりちゃん。ママ。ごめんね。ごめんね。ごめんね。辛かったよね。寂しかったよね。ママのせいでずっと泣いてたんだよね。ごめんね。ママ。こうして私、椎名
Gosh dang it, game.
すべての記憶を取り戻した。それからの数ヶ月間はただ楽しかった。
Okay, we're jumping ahead several months, so I think this is finally the end.
毎日のようにラボに集まってママやその友達と遊んだ。みんな本当にいい人たちだった。退屈する暇なんて1秒もなかった。特にママはできるだけ時間を作って私と一緒にいてくれた。一緒にご飯を食べに行ったり、一緒にショッピングに行ったり、目的もなく一緒に散歩したりした。
They have to fill in those several months in excruciating detail for 5 hours.
心の底から求め続けていたものだった。以前は頭の中に響いていた声もママとたくさん話しているうちにいつの間にか聞こえなくなっていた。ママはどんな時でも笑顔を私に見せてくれた。そして心から嬉しそうに私の話を聞いてくれた。本当に幸せだった。お泊まり会も何度もした。ラボやママの家やルカ君の家でお菓子を食べながら遅くまで話して、夜はママと同じ布団で眠りについた。布団の中では小さな声で二人であの歌を歌った。ママが二人をつないでくれた歌だと言ったあの歌を。確かにあの歌は私とママとをつないでくれた。私は小さい頃にママにこの歌を教えてもらった。ママは鈴葉お姉ちゃんから聞いた。
Okay, now we're going through the full circle.
鈴葉お姉ちゃんはユキさんから。
So Kagari learned it from Mayuri. What has your favorite Phasmo update been? Mayuri learned it from Suzuha. Suzuha learned it from Yuki. Yuki learned it from my mom. My mom learned it from us. And we learned it from Kagari. The one where the ghost can listen to you talk while hunting.
確かなことはわからない。でも、もしそうだったら、それはとても素敵なことだ。他にもママとたくさん話した。
Yeah, the ghosts. So in Phasmo, it's constantly listening to your microphone. I don't think I was there for that death, Samus's.
学校の話、ラボの話、オカリンおじさんの話、未来の話、恋の話。
And now the ghost, there's some new things. It can open, like, doors to the closet. It will remember where it saw you last, so if it hunts you and then it goes back to normal and hunts again, it will remember where you hid last time, and it will search there first.
ある時、ママが急にこんな話をしたことがあった。
You were reading chat, a funny message. And immediately done.
ねえ、かがりちゃん。まゆしーはね、思うのです。この歌は、大好きな人を励ます歌なんじゃないかなって。その人は、大切な宝物をなくして、悲しくて悲しくて眠っちゃったの。どんなに揺さぶっても眠ったまま。それくらい悲しかったから。でもね、その宝物は
I mean, yeah, when there's a hunt, you hide, you don't say anything. That's basically it.
本当は
Unless you want to get a picture. Hunts are the best time to get a
ちょっと手を
picture.
伸ばせば届くところにあるの。だけどその人は宝物がすぐ近くにあることに気づかないでずっと眠ったままなの。
I mean, useless for you, not useless for the rest of your team. The rest of your team still gets the money.
でもね、その人はきっと本当は誰かが起こしてくれるのをずっと待ってるんだ。だってね、その人はそばにいるから。いなくなったわけじゃないから。それがいつになるのかわからないけど、それでもいつかきっと目を覚ましてくれる、そういう歌なんじゃないかなって思うんだ。そしてママは私を見てにっこりと微笑んでくれた。カーテンから漏れる月明かりでぼんやりと見えたママの瞳がとても澄んで見えた。初めて見る綺麗な色の瞳だった。けれど後から思うと、あの時のママの瞳は以前にも見たことがあった。あの時私が記憶を取り戻したあの雨の日、ママは私を抱きしめながらあんな瞳をしていた。あの時ママはずっと同じ言葉を繰り返していた。
We'll have to introduce Hero, we'll have to take Chaos into the prison,
ごめんね、
and the new map, of course.
かがりちゃん、ごめんねと。そのごめんねはママが未来のママ自身の代わりに謝っているんだ。
Of the big maps, Prison is my favorite. I think it is the most well done of the 3 big maps. This is true. The new map, I would say, is a 2-person map, and it's a good 2-person map.
未来のママが私を一人ぼっちにしたことを謝っているんだってそう思ってた。けれどそうじゃなかった。
I mean, you can do it with 1 person. Most of the houses, like, all the houses you can do with 1 person, they're not that big.
あの時ママは他の誰でもなく2011年の椎名真由里として私に
Is
謝っ
it?
て。
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the smallest map. So, yeah. It's probably easiest to do solo, minus the fact that you have to run from the ghost.
ごめんねと。 そのことに気づいたのは半年後。2011年7月7日。七夕の日だった。本当は分かってた。
I mean, you were right, Samus. This is going on far longer than I thought it would.
こんなところに呼び出して、ママ、何の用かな。何かサプライズでも考えてるのかな。
Oh, is this where she's gonna get the keychain that she takes to the future? Hero, you missed the first ending we did was literally 3 streams long because it was about 6 hours. Kagari whispered as if she wanted it to be true. Today was July 7th. Tanabata. The lab was going to have a Tanabata party with the Tanoji family on the roof of the building. It was essentially an excuse to hold a barbecue. The sky was clear that day. The night stars were sure to be pretty.
早く戻って準備の続きしなきゃ。ママと一緒に。
That's a memoir.
本当は。
Oh my gosh, game. Let me have my face somewhere in peace. Is this the best place for my face? Let's see.
何を意味するのか。
Only if there's really long text in like the first 2 lines.
でも自分に対してわからないふりをしてた。本当はここには来たくなかった。見たくないものから目をそらしていたかった。
I'm covering up Trail's dialogue. Oh, I thought that sentence was gonna go. It came close. I took one step after another toward the roof. See, this is why I've hotkeyed my face all the way around. So I can do this.
早く行かなきゃ。ママが待ってる。
What's with this creepy walking sequence?
ママ。
When I opened the door, I was met with a burst of warm wind and the gentle summer twilight. The stars could already be seen twinkling in the evening sky. Put it in the center. There you go. Is that better? I mean, I also have no face, but there we go. Mayuri was there. She was standing right next to the time machine. She had one hand on her head to keep the wind from blowing away her hat, and another reached out toward the sky. Her hand open stretched straight up towards the Akihabara sky, as if she was trying to grab the brightest star. Her eyes seemed to look past the stars towards something beyond. It was so pretty, so ephemeral, and so fragile.
Mama.
Yeah, the problem I find is with these kinds of games, there's just text everywhere, so I'm trying to think where would be have me get a green screen. All the cool kids are doing it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could crop the camera. The only issue would be when we do like full screen for juggling and stuff. I guess I could have it not crop for that view. Green screen would be the best solution. But money. Kagari couldn't stop herself from crying out. Felt like if she didn't stop her, the stars would take her mother away. Mayuri has a different outfit? I don't believe it.
Mama.
Oh, this is the last day for the time machine, isn't it? Tension started to drain from Kagari's body. Good, Mommy was acting normal now. There's nothing to worry about. Mommy would never leave her. Ever. Nothing bad is gonna happen because I have said this. When Kagari ran over, Mayuri lowered the hand that she'd reached out toward the sky.
どうしたの？どうしてここに呼んだの？
Mayuri smiled, slightly embarrassed, and spun the other way. And then she looked up at the time machine.
かがりちゃんはこれに乗ってきたんだよね。
急に何？そんなしみじみ言うことじゃ。
Her words caught in her throat. She realized that the time machine's hatch was open.
どうしてタイムマシンのハッチが開いてるの？
And then someone appeared from within the time machine.
カガリー、お前どうして？それはこっちのセリフだよ。二人で何してるの？
まゆ姉さん、かがりには秘密にしておくって約束したじゃないか。黙っててごめんね、すずさん。まゆしーね。
Hell is the only good part of the
ちゃん
channel.
にはちゃんとお別れを言っておきたかったの。
Oh, Mayuri's going back in time too.
すぐ終わるから準備を進めておいて。わかった。終わったら乗って。
Suzuha disappeared back inside the time machine.
秘密？お別れ？準備？ママも鈴葉お姉ちゃんも何の話をしてるの？私全然わからないよ。本当は分かってた。本当はママからメッセージが来た時からもう分かってた。でも認めたくなかった。タイムマシンがまたかがりとママを離れ離れにしてしまうことを認めたくなかったの。
あのね、まゆしーはこれからすずさんと一緒にタイムマシンに乗るの。大事な人に目を覚ましてもらうために。
無理だよ。世界線は収束しちゃうの。ママや鈴葉お姉ちゃんがどんなに頑張ったって変えられない。誰にも変えようがないのよ。
そうだね。きっとまゆしーじゃ変えられない。
だったら。
でもね、オカリンは別なの。オカリンには未来を変える力がある。そのオカリンを、あの日のオカリンの背中をちょっとだけ押すぐらいならまゆしーにもできるはずだから。チャンスはあの日だけだから。
うまくいくわけない。
Kagari grabbed Mayuri's arms, but she just smiled sadly.
それでも
I think we're almost there, Samus. As once Mayuri goes back in time, I think that's the final end.
まゆしーはもう一度会いたいんだ。法王院京馬に、私の彦星様にもう一度会いたいの。
Don't make me turn this ending around.
でも本当は分かってた。
Ever since the day she got her memories back, Kagari's life had been truly happy. She'd lived every day in a peaceful Japan with no war, with Mayuri and the rest of the lab. Every day shined like a jewel, and she thought it would last forever. I mean, we have a time machine, Samus says this wouldn't be hard. But she'd known what that look in Mayuri's eyes had meant. She'd known why, when everyone else was having fun, Mayuri always seemed kind of sad.
私はどうなるの？もしオカリンおじさんがシュタインズゲートへたどり着いたとして、そこでは戦争が起きないかもしれない。そうすればたくさんの人は救われるかもしれない。だけどそしたら私はママと会えないよ。
そんなことないよ。どの未来でだってまゆしーとかがりちゃんは 会えるよ。その世界ではかがりちゃんは一人じゃないかもしれない。本当のお父さんとお母さんがいて幸せに暮らしているかもしれない。でもマユシーはそれでもかがりちゃんに会いに行くから。それでね、かがりちゃんととっても仲良しになるから。だからかがりちゃんは何にも心配しなくていいんだよ。
私もママもお互いのことを忘れちゃうかもしれないんだよ。私のことを覚えていないのにどうやって会いに来てくれるの？絶対無理だよ。
マユシーにはきっとかがりちゃんがわかるよ。
I love this bet.
なんでそんなことを言い切れるの？
What is this like slide in transition that they've never used before?
それが運命だもん。マユシーとかがりちゃんの絆はどんなことにも負けたりしない。だから今の記憶がなくなっても絶対にマユシーはあなたを
You're in an alternate reality. Tears like pearls fell from Mayuri's eyes, but she kept smiling at Kagari anyway. And for the first time, Kagari realized how strong Mayuri Shina really was. He realized, even if Mayuri didn't, how tough and strong her will was. This girl who seemed so small and fragile believed in the power of the future more than anyone in the world. In the previous reality, all of the characters died. You told the devs to make the ending longer. Mayuri was about to get in the time machine. She could see Mayuri's legs shaking with each step up the ladder she took. She couldn't let this happen. It would just end up like that day in 2036. Kagari couldn't take that anymore. Kagari clung to Mayuri's body. Kagari grabbed the phone that Mayuri was holding and then pulled down on her hard. Mayuri lost her balance and fell off the ladder, and Kagari leapt inside.
Kagari,
Kagari ignored her and leapt, leaned out of the hatch to smile down at Mayuri. Oh, Samus's will unfollow you, that I can guarantee.
Suzuha お姉ちゃん、ハッチを閉めて。
いいのか?
They will unfollow you and then refollow.
わかった。
The hatch started to close. Mayuri was staring up at Kagari in shock. I told you he would. Then the hatch closed. She couldn't see her beloved mother anymore. She wiped away the tears and sat down in the passenger seat and strapped herself in. Suzuha sat in the main seat and grinned.
まさか、もう一度お前と乗ることになるとは思わなかった。
一番最初に戻っただけだよ。
最初とは大違いだ。あの時のお前はピーピー泣いてた。
鈴葉お姉ちゃんだってちょっぴり泣いてたくせに。
そうだな。行くよ、かがり。かっこいい。
Suzuha tapped at the console and the whole seat started to shake. At the same time, a pale light began to shine from within the machine. The time travel was beginning. There was no guarantee it would work. We might never see Mayuri again. But she swore that she would make this succeed. The daughter of Mayuri Shina. Yeah, if this ending doesn't hurry up, Samus says I'm also so just gonna save and finish. They brought back the song, so I think this is like the last bit. Because we're, what, 15 minutes over already. If it's not, blame Hero. No matter how far apart they were, that song would connect them together. There you go, there's credits. So I guess you can't blame Hero. Oh, but now you get the full song, so listen to it now before it's DMCA'd. Can we raid Hero? If Hero's live. Well, this is on. I'm actually going to look at who's online for us to raid. We have Indecisive Fox, who's playing House Flipper. Avier is playing Power Washing Simulator. Kokiri is playing Wind Waker. Infran is playing Chikori. Power washing is, what's the word? Gosh dang it, Hero. Satisfying, I think, is the word I'm looking for. Divinity is a good game. I haven't played Divinity 2 yet. I have it. I'm planning to play it at some point. Probably not on stream, but it is one I want to play. Thank you for shouting me out, Samus. Yeah, the first one, they are hard games. The first one, I took like a couple month break because I was stuck at like level 3 and just kept dying every time I left the city. So there we go, Recursive Mother Goose is complete. Oh, we got new wallpaper, nice. Alright. So yeah. So finally, we hit the second bad ending, Recursive Mother Goose.